Hey friends, this is Mrs. Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead with a public service announcement. Bet you didn't expect that. Well, it's a tea break too. Um, First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who has been so loving and so supportive this last week while we are recovering from Howie's heart attack. It's been a nightmare, and for some reason I'm exhausted. I mean, I don't know. I probably could have handled it if it was a whole lot worse, but I'm so glad I didn't have to. I'm so glad I didn't have to. I'm still freaking out that the doctor says he can go back to work on the 23rd of August. But the scare was enough to know, was enough to show us that changes need to be made. He can no longer use his body like a hammer. I mean, tools are supposed to be an extension of your body, not the other way around. You know what I mean? So, and it's been a really good time. Now that he's been home since Friday last week. He's been home all week, and it's been kind of like a vacation without all the busyness that vacations bring, like going to visit and getting the coach ready and yada, yada, yada. We've just been chilling. We've just been kind of chilling. I mean, yeah, we're getting things done, but I haven't been putting out a lot of videos, okay, because I'm spending time with my husband, right? So here's what I've gathered. You remember me talking about the ants in the jar? Well, picture our world as a jar, and you put two different breeds of ants in it. And when they're in there, there's red ants and there's black ants. Like let's not even use colors, just two different species, two different breeds of ants, right? And they're getting in there and they're going, holy crap, this is a new situation. How are we going to build a nest in here? Where are we going to put mama and the kids? And where's the food going to come from? And they're all so busy trying to take in and assess their new situation that they're just doing the do things, right? And then a hand comes along and picks up the jar and does this and puts it back down. And the ants turn on each other. The different species turn against each other because they were minding their own business when their world got turned upside down. And the only other thing to blame in that jar was the other ants. Our world is that jar. And we are all ants in that jar. But we've been shooken up daily for 2 years. If it's not COVID, or arguments about whether it's even real or not, or whether they're overinflating whether it's real or not, or vaccines, whether or not you believe that they're totally necessary, or whether or not you believe that they're not even a vaccine. They're a science experiment shot. Whether or not you should be wearing masks in public before and after. Wildfires, record high heats, droughts, rains, mudslides. These are all, heart attacks. These are all things that are keeping us in a constant state of fight or flight. And we've been that way for 2 years. At least 2 years. Now, I'm going to tell you something I figured out. Now, normally when I release a video, I release it on Facebook, I release it in my public Facebook page, and I release it on Twitter and Pinterest. I still haven't figured out how Pinterest works. I just post there. I always get lost in Pinterest. And sometimes I've got more than one video going out, so I'll go back to them and I'll try and post them again. And I try not to post too often. It's only when a video comes out, but sometimes I forget that I've posted and I will post it again. So, but when you go to Twitter and you go to post something, if you've already posted it, it comes up with a red bar that says, oops, looks like you just posted this. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, you get sucked into watching. And this is something that's recently, because I'm not a Twitter person, but it's just something that I've recently noticed. And I noticed that once I'm there, I get caught by the first headline, and then the next, and the next, and the next, before I have even scrolled past 3 or 4 articles, I'm angry. I'm frothing at the injustices that are going on in this world. That's another hand shaking your jar. So what I have been doing to keep myself from going absolutely nuts with all the conflicting crap that's going on across the news and social media is I've been watching Netflix, and I've been posting everywhere, but I've only been actually reading on my Respectful Hearts Facebook private Facebook page. Respectful Hearts private Facebook page. Because we have rules there. It's our safe place. But after examining myself and my reactions to Twitter and stuff like that, and some, TikTok's not so bad. You can easily just go, right? Because they go, hey, stop scrolling, and you go, no, you just immediately keep scrolling, and it's only a couple of seconds, so it's easy to it's easy to navigate your way through. But Twitter, it's insane. Facebook can be really nasty, right? So what I want you to think about, if you're having issues with anxiety, if you're having issues with anger and resentment among your family members and your friends, if you are having a hard time catching your breath or getting the football out of your chest, do yourself a favor. Get off of news, mainstream media, and social media for a while, unless you have a private place to go where you know you'll feel comfortable. And you will feel the anger and the anxiety and the fear begin to slip away. Because make no mistake, social media and mainstream media is driving people up the wall, literally and figuratively. Okay? We've got mask mandates. Not mask mandates, they're going to try and start mandating vaccines here. And whether or not you believe the vaccine is the right thing to do, that's your choice. But once they start mandating, say, frontline workers or whatever, once they allow one section of society to be mandated into vaccines, it's the thin end of the wedge. And this is causing so much strife. It's causing so much strife that isn't necessary. All right? It's people are turning on each other. People are angry. Families are getting divided because this is happening. Not just, it's happening constantly and has been for quite some time. So if you have an uncontrollable angst because your life is you feel that everything around you is out of control, then take back some of the control. All right? Think about love. And I don't mean la, 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 la. I mean, think about love and what we were taught about loving our neighbor as ourselves. Okay? Love doesn't have time to slip in and give you peace if you are in a constant state of fight or flight. But you can control some of it. You can tell people, I don't want to hear about this. You can shut the news off in the mainstream media. You can watch Netflix or Crave or whatever where there's no commercials. You can shut off Twitter. You can shut off Facebook. Okay? You get to choose where you find your peace. All right? I'm just, I know I feel like I've hit a wall these last couple of days, and I realize that the last 2 years have exhausted me. And so if I'm not putting out as many videos, it's because I'm stepping back a little bit. And I'm looking after me, and I'm looking after my husband. And I'm spending time with my husband in the one of the most too bad it took a heart attack for us to realize that we could just sit and relax, and we could choose, what to let in and what not to let in, to keep our peace, okay, to keep our contentment. All right? Acceptance is the key to my serenity. It doesn't mean I have to accept everything that's going on. I just have to accept that it is going on. And then I can choose whether or not to shut it off. This is the Mrs. Wolfe from our half-acre homestead saying, shut off social media for a bit. Shut off mainstream media for a bit. Spend some time outside. Spend some time journaling, talking to, your loved ones. And decompress. It's really important. I love you guys. Take care. God bless. Mwah.